play of the game from way down.
Two, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombs Tastingo gonna find Rainer.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. We're going to catch the third and final match of the night, Would Tap That versus Vilefin Mrgles. We're all ready to go. Smoke set captain, there we go. And, starting it up. All right, so, sorry, I had to let them know that we were ready to go. Anyways, Would Tap That versus Vilefin Mrgles. Looking forward to this matchup here tonight. The Would Tap That here, one of the teams here at the top of the power rankings. In Division C West here, it's close. I mean, we can see with 16 points, they're technically tied for number 3 there between them and Piecemeal. Better than Bots and Arrogant Nephilim, just a couple points ahead. Vilefin Mrgles, as yet, unable to pick up any points, but this would be the place for them to do it. This is the night to show that they are still in this matchup. Our map bans here, coming out from Would Tap That, the bans on Sky Temple and Volskaya Foundry. For Vilefin Mrgles, the bans on Battlefield of Eternity and Towers of Doom. And our first map of the night is going to be played on Tomb of the Spider Queen. What are we watching tonight? Monkus, we are watching Would Tap That versus Vilefin Mrgles. And already set up in the draft here, we've got the Oriole Band, we got the Lunara and Kael'thas. Is it the Deathwing? Is it? I don't know. But I see something that they didn't ban. I'm not gonna mention it. All right, here it comes, right? Ah, oh, that's not it. But you know what? That's fine. Mongoose says, hey, I want this Johanna. It's fine. Pick up that tank. Johanna's definitely a first pick worthy hero. Very strong tank. Has a lot of the ability to get out of danger very easily. And wrecked. All right, Jaina gonna be the second pick here. There it is. I knew that was coming. Didn't want to say it was coming because I don't want to give anything away. But there's the Probius. All right. Let's move on to game number 2 because this Probius is absolutely disgusting. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Vilefin has the key to victory here. Maybe they figured out the way to kill the Probius. Yeah, exactly, Monkus. Like that's the thing. Like, it's so frustrating. This meta right now for the last month, most of NGS has been ban out ETC Jaina or ban out ETC, ban out Oriole Deathwing. Oh my goodness. Words, players, heroes, whatever. But it makes it so that your first pick gets so much extra value right now because it means you have entire control over the draft. Right? It means that you get whichever of the strongest heroes are available. It means that you can ban out the enemy team based on what you don't want to see. It's going to be Thrall and Stukov here, so Got the silences to go with the mosh pits. Got the Ring of Frost and the Thrall combo as well. So do we see... What do we see with this? So Thrall could be the off lane. We could see like a Rainer still going with this. Or we could see a more traditional off lane. Actually, Rainer into Leoric I think probably does decently. But it's going to be Chromie and the Leoric as mentioned. And this is a scary combination. Rect's going to go into the Vala, so that will be the Thrall in the off lane. So, I don't know. Yeah, for sure. Monkus, I agree. I agree. All right, well, who do you guys, taking a look at these drafts, who do you think wins game number 1? Is it going to be Would Tap That on the left with this Probius comp, or is it going to be the Vilefin Mrgles on the right, looking for that big setup combo? Would Tap That or Vilefin Mrgles? Vote in chat. Hit the drop down. It's over there at the top right of your screen if you're in desktop mode. Hit the drop down, select the team that you think's going to win the game, and hit that button. Vote button. Jeez, words are hard today. I don't know, says Monkus. I don't know. I don't know. You guys already know my thoughts on it. Slims has, I mean, he's like a level, I don't know, 140 something Probius. I mean, that said, there's a lot of potential damage here from Necrofin Mrgles. So if they can get the lockdown, like a power slide from ETC might be enough to kill Probius. Just dead, right? Power slide, follow up with the root from Thrall. You got Jaina burst, you got Vala burst. Like, Probius could just die. He doesn't have a lot of hit points. And I think like that needs to be kind of a focus for them, because he's gonna do astronomical damage. All right, so we have a pause. But while we're doing that, let's introduce our teams, shall we? Make sure we're on the right page. We are. Okay. All right. On the left, it's gonna be Mongoose playing the Johanna. We'll just get rid of that. Colonel Pants going to be playing the Leoric. Tlems on the Probius. Pet Wolverine on the Chromie. Shadonis on the Anduin. And on the right, we've got ETC being played by Jake TG. Stony going to be played by the Stukov. Mr. Sad Panda on the Vala? Jaina. Smoke played by Thrall. Thrall played by Smoke. And Rect going to be playing the Vala. And I guess we'll come back over here. All right, so they're just talking about they've got a hero that has the train mount. Very easy to do. It's a fun mount to have. So they just wanted to make sure that they called attention to that, said, hey, we have this. Do we want to remake or are we good? So they said they're good. Oh. Forgot I was the ref. There's that, those taunts here, as mentioned. All three of these have high level taunts, 75 plus. The taunt for Chromie and Probius just a little bit higher there in that 100 plus range.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, turning off the chat. No more of that. All right, let's take a look at these level ones. So Rolling Thunder going to be the pick for the Thrall, so going to get that extra healing. Keep in mind that did adjust here recently, right? Extra bounce, I think that was always there, but now when he hits somebody, he also deals damage equal to 2% of their maximum health, and he heals for that. So it's actually really good sustain when you're fighting into a high health off-lane target. And does a lot of damage, surprisingly, to Deathwing. It does crazy amounts of damage. I was amazed the first time I saw it. What else we got here? Well, Thrall and Leo. Thrall's gonna get caught by the spooky hand. But we've got Leo going into Consume Vitality, so that's the extra healing when he hits a hero with his Skeletal Swing. So that's our offlaner matchup here. Johanna's gonna pick up the Hold Your Ground, so she's gonna have more shields more often. We've got the... Oh, here's an interesting pickup. Lingering Chill from Jaina. So looking for the longer duration on those slows. Going up to 4 to 6%, or 4 to 6 seconds, rather. At least 3, right? Because he's got it on 1, 7, and 16. I don't know if he has it on any others. But yeah, he's got the level 1, then the 7 is his Ancestral Wrath, which is up to 15%, and then his 16 is the Feral, or Alpha Wolf. Getting that, I think it's 3% per when he hits the Feral Spirit. So we're going to see some heroes turning in some gems here. Getting 17 turned in, so about 30% roughly. 35%. We got Chromie going into, once again, the first time, so she'll eventually get that third clone. Speaking of Chromie, she's going to get the Power Slide. Pet Wolverine getting some healing from Anduin, but it's just not enough as the first blood going to be picked up by Stukov. All right, cool. I was going to say, we're going to see Tlem's trying to set up here a gank on the rotation, but ultimately, nobody was there. So, not really sure on that one. Thrall versus Leo. How's this going? So, Leo's falling pretty low here. If he doesn't get a spooky hand out there, going to have to be very cautious. And we're going to get now some... Never mind, we're not getting any turned in. Johanna blinding the Stukov, keeping that 9 away. Now the time trap is going to put Stukov in a little bit of danger, gets rooted, and all that damage just came from the Warp Rift from Probius there. So Stukov lucky to make it out of that one alive. That was very close. And as this Warp Resonance rather, gains in power, that would have been deadly. That one additional bonus would have been enough to kill him, I think. 26 out of 50 here, make it 32 as Proby's getting his turned in. So over the halfway mark is Would Tap That. And our solo laners showing why they do what they do. Leoric doesn't quite have enough for the full turn in. He's still missing one. And Thrall able to come in and stall that out. Now, ETC is going to come out. This could be the rotation they need to get the kill. And they do. And that's 17 gems that are going to be zoned off by the Vilefin Mrgles. Great job getting that kill and preventing Would Tap That from getting those gems back. And getting some turned in now officially themselves. Jake in a little bit of danger here as Leoric's already back onto the map here. Vala's going to have to vault away. And it's Vilefin Mrgles that officially have the first potential turn in here. If they can get these turned in. Actually, that's not true, because technically speaking, Would Tap That did have the first potential. But they lost it. So now the potential is here for Vilefin to get the first one. Mr. Sad Panda is okay. Alright, you're good. ETC, again, let me look at that. That's like 20% of ETC's health just from that one. Probius is a hero that can do so much if he's played right, but most people don't play him right. So he just doesn't get played. But Would Tap That doing a great job of zoning out and making sure that Vilefin. So many fins that Vilefin cannot turn in. And because of that fact, Would Tap That is actually going to get the first web weavers of the game. Looks like the bulk of the pressure going to be put up into the top lane here. Shadonis is in danger. Anduin going to fall, but ETC's going to fall in response here. And 35 gems sitting on Jaina. So they got to be really careful with how low Jaina's health was there. Jane is going to head off into the mid lane to clear up the middle Web Weaver. Mongoose having to pull back. Johanna way too low on health to stick this one out, as even Vala with just one probably Q would have killed that Johanna without hold your ground. There's the hold your ground. So it has the shield, also has the tap healing coming in. Couple of big warp rifts there, but Tlem's gonna get taken out there. A little far forward for that one, as level 10s are picked up for Would Tap That, and they are gonna be able to get this top tower. Was that subdue getting complete? In fact, it was indeed. And that, I mean, again, that's gonna be even more value, more slows. But take a look at some of these ultimates here. We've got the Light Bomb. We've got the Warp Rift. Not Warp Rift. Null Gate, rather. March of the Black King. Chromie's got the Slowing Sands and the Blessed Shield. Over here for Vilefin Mrgles. What do we got? We got the Mosh Pit. We got the Massive Shove. I'm kind of surprised that they aren't heading up. Like, they know they're on the boss. Mongoose is super low. Oh my goodness, was one boss hit away from death there. Time Trap is only going to hit the Leo, so it missed the ETC, but the Null Gate making it very difficult for ETC to get out. Ring of Frost is going to come out just basically as a zoning utility, keeping the ETC alive. What else do we get? We got the Strafe and the Earthquake and Massive Shove. I think I mentioned Massive Shove. So that boss took forever, and I think that if Vilefin had been a little bit faster on rotating up, they probably could have not only contested that, but possibly even taken it. So with their turn-in, I mean, their turn-in's going to get a little bit of value, but not a lot. It's going to get the bottom tower down here and all of the wall in mid, but there was no value top because of the boss. So Light Bomb with... They don't really have any, like, dive, right? They could put it onto Leoric, they can put it onto Johanna, but they don't have any way to really get in. So it's going to be kind of a responsive ability there when they see a hero out of position. There's the Null Gate, and it's, as a reminder, Null Gate's an 80% slow. Let's take a look at this. You don't see this very, very often. They also take damage while they're in there. So it's a pretty significant pain in the neck to have to deal with. Some of these heroes are okay, like ETC can slide through it, but they're all a little far forward here. The Ring of Frost coming out is only going to hit Johanna, but she's got Unstoppable. Light Bomb, however, going to take out the ETC. We're going to see his body swirl around a little bit in the Swirling Sands. And now Vala trying to make it out as well. It looks like just the one kill, but that is a great place for them to start. And Would Tap That has almost enough for another turn-in now. Monkus doesn't think that Val's going to complete the level 4 quests, the auto attacks. We'll have to see. It's not an easy one to complete, especially when you've got a lot of those heroes in the back there, and Johanna taking the blind. Not taking the blind, she has blind. Y'all know what I mean. And here come the blue web weavers. Top lane is pushed really far. It has to become a priority. The Bruiser Camp's going to get taken out pretty quickly here. They've got the Slowing Sands that the Bruiser Camp just can't really get through. Level 13's up here for Would Tap That, so they have a talent advantage as their Web Weavers starting to get some work done here in the mid lane. The mid fort is going to go down. Johanna popping that Unstoppable. I think she got hit by the Massive Shove, but ETC getting deep into the team there on an island and taken out there by the Chromie ultimately, but so much work going into getting that kill. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, that Web Weaver is going to get all the way through this fort for sure, but the top lane's getting value too. It's already taken out the wall. It's going to get this top tower. And how far does it make it? Definitely the well goes down here, right? Maybe? Maybe not. But in the mid, we've got Keep already at half here. The Null Gate is out. Johanna's got the Iron Skin, so she's going to back out now. Now, what ways do we have to stop that Mosh Pit? Obviously, Johanna. Is that it? I guess the light bomb. So Johanna has 2 ways with the Blessed Shield and the Condemn. And then it's just up to Anduin. And even, like, in that circumstance, Anduin, they're going to be in the mosh, at least for a short period of time. But check out this health on this keep here. Almost nothing left. Alright, Vilefin has enough for a turn-in. Their lanes are fairly pushed. But they're, I mean, it's one wave away from being center, so they can clear those out. ETC only having a few here is going to recognize the Leoric in the bush. But both of the tanks coming in here, and look at how much damage is coming out almost entirely from the tanks. We did see the mosh pit, but it got interrupted. Colonel Pants looking for, never mind, is going to just fall. But ETC power sliding onto the null gate pretty much just means ETC dies. Cannot get out of there. The Chastise coming in, hitting Vala. And they're on the run. Stukov trying to zone for the team, get those pustules out to the team and heal them. But ETC, Stukov, and now probably Jaina gonna fall. And now level 16s are available here for Would Tap That. They've got a bruiser camp in the middle here. The Jaina's gonna be gone for 25 seconds. I mean, I want to see at least one keep go down. Definitely the mid keep. They do have a lot of pressure in the bot lane, though, so, I mean, take it out, come down, get the bottom keep, maybe? Oh, no, they're going to go for boss. Because boss is available. Are they going to go for boss, though? Let's see, 48, so they're still a little ways away from getting enough for turn. Doesn't look like they're going... They are going for boss. They just had to think about it for a little while. And people ban the Probius. Yeah. Yeah, they got it was their map pick, so they banned out the Oriole and Deathwing, so there you go. Here comes the rotation, so Would Tap That's pulling back off. We've got ETC again stuck a little bit here. Thrall getting into the null gate, but is going to get hit by the light bomb. That's 30 gems-ish that just got dropped by Thrall. But let's follow ETC. He's gonna just barely get out. Stukov not so lucky. And now Would Tap That likely gonna go back and pick themselves up a boss. Because they've got boss, they've got turn. Do they have enough for one person to turn? I don't think they do. Where are all these gems? 21 on Probius. Yeah, so Monkus, I think that kind of depends on the one tricks, right? Or the power picks. Because there's certain heroes that I would say are more likely to be super strong. Yeah, exactly. Key brings up the exact point I was just gonna make, which is that, like, if you've got a player that's so good on a hero as compared to an Oriole or a Deathwing maybe that is, you know, even if they're okay, right? Like, the hero gives them that extra bonus, but they might not be, well, they definitely won't be as practiced at it. Definitely not on Deathwing. So I feel like, you know, if you're that second pick, you just kind of have to figure out which direction you want to go and accept that. But with the boss here onto the keep, Smoke having to pull back. Well, never mind. Is going to go ahead and go. March of the Black King coming out. The ETC Mosh far away from the team, kind of zoning out to allow for the Vilefin Mrgles to try to get the damage onto the boss. It's going to go down. Ring of Frost hitting onto 3. The Leap of Faith onto Johanna, gonna pull her back out. Jaina trying to make it back to the graveyard to safety, but Proby says no. And that's gonna be the first game going over to Would Tap That. All right, 12 kills to 5. And that started off looking pretty good for Vilefin. They had some early kills. They were able to get some pressure. They got a turn in. You know, the turn in they had was when the boss was coming, so it wasn't ideal, but it allowed them to stay in the game. They didn't have a Raynor, did they? No, that was... Oh, that was Stukov. Oh, great. Oh well, the overlay was wrong. Sorry. But once level 10 came online, the mosh pits were difficult to find. Johanna did a great job of, you know, using those abilities to make sure that she could interrupt. Also, the Anduin light bombs, there was one of those that was taken out by the light bomb. Really good timing on that. So, you know, it made it difficult for the ETC to get the positioning and target that they wanted once level 10 came up. And also, you know, consider this too. Chromie has an AoE slow. Probius puts down zoning slows. Leoric can slow with his skeletal swing. Johanna can slow with her punish. Literally every person on this team has the way to slow except for Anduin, and he can root. Not being able to move around is a very frustrating circumstance. I don't know if I showed stats. And everybody on this team had a way to do it. And Probius had 2 because Nullgate 80% slow. Yikes. Oh, I think they want me to make. Make it, okay. All right, so I am making the game. We are gonna go to Brax's Holdout. Right. Wow, that Leoric damage. Keep it. Okay, Sad Panda's on the right. We did. Okay, so that means there we go. All right, so this is the map pick of Would Tap That. Vilefin Mrgles saying, you know what, we want to have that first pick. So there you go. We'll see, I imagine, a very different draft here. And we want Smoke as captain. Make sure everything looks correct here and finish writing down who they had. All right, one team looks like they're ready to go. Just waiting on the second. Obviously, they need a moment. Oh, you mean Thames, Lulu? There's no Talems in this game. It's just Thames. All right, Smoke says they are ready, so both teams ready to go. Into the draft for game number 2 on Brax's Holdout. All right, here we go. Game number 2, Brax's Holdout. First pick, first ban, Vilefin Mrgles. Do they get rid of the Probius? I mean, I think they have to. All right, Anduin's going to be the first ban. Someone needs to fix that bug in the casting bot code. Yikes. Kael'thas going to be the next ban. I think that's what they banned the first round, right? Kael and Lunara. And that makes sense when you consider the fact that they wanted to play Probius. Probius doesn't have a lot of health. The Kael'thas and Lunara have the ability to put damage onto Probius at a pretty good distance. We're going to see the ban onto Deathwing. So they're going to want to pick up the Oriole. So does Would Tap That take the Oriole as the ban here? Or do they let him have it and stick with that Lunara ban? Just keep. They're actually going to go into a Stukov ban, and that's fair. Stukov does a lot of work here. So, are we going to see the Oriole? Okay, we're going to see the Johanna. All right. It's hard mode, guys. This is tough. This is tough. Don't get me wrong. I want to see it. I want to see somebody take this Probius down because they've played it so well. But, I mean, I think that they're undefeated with the Probius, which feels weird to even say. Let me just start off with that. But now they also have an Oriole to go with it. So, oh, they changed people too. Yikes. Okay, so Jake's on Johanna. Who else do we have in here? Sad Panda's still here. Looks like Wrecked got swapped out. Tom Jin for Wrecked. We got Stony and Smoke. Okay, cool. Oriole and Probius left up. Feels bad. I know. And listen, guys, when you come back and watch this, I'm so sorry for harping on this subject, but I think you're gonna see why. Gonna be the Ana ban. And what is our last ban here from Vilefin Mrgles? I mean, they may ban out the Chromie at this point. Mongoose likes the ETC, so that would be another good ban. ETC Johanna, two of Mongoose's stronger tanks. So you'd kind of throw off their front line a little bit. And they do ban out the ETC, so. Alright, where do we go from here? We have an Oriole, we have a Probius. We got slows that can proc some other abilities like the Sylvanas level 1 for percent damage if they felt that was appropriate. We still need a solo laner to go against the Rexar. Yeah, both teams let Oriole through. Alright, gonna see the Anubarak and going back into the Chromie. Could we see a... So I want to see some kind of really good auto attacker here, like a Zul'Jin, Raynor. Somebody with that extra range that can also get damage onto the Probius and Chromie. I think Sylvanas can probably do a lot of damage to the Anubarak. His shield is still going to negate about half of her damage, though. So I don't know if it's ideal, but it could work. We're going to round it out with Lucio. So Lucio is going to give them the ability to have faster rotations between top and bot. Also going to feed Gul'dan free mana with his life taps. Colonel Pant's going to pick up the Yrel. And Yrel is, again, an underappreciated hero at this point in NGS, I think. You've seen something very similar to this, for sure. Or is it? Well, I gotta double check again because I keep thinking it's the other team. Vilefin? It is Vilefin. Okay. All right, who wins game number 2? Is it going to be the return of the Probius comp for Would Tap That? Or is it going to be Vilefin Mrgles? Can they be the first team to defeat this Probius? We'll have to find out. And again, they do have the potential because they've got the Misha charge from Rexar. Lucio has the movement speed, so he can get out of the null gate. Sylvanas can get out of a null gate. Johanna can get out of a null gate. So Gul'dan is the only one that's really in a little bit of a tight spot if he gets caught in a null gate. They've got the Horrify, can provide a lot of value to disrupt their engages. So we'll have to see. It's a tall order, but somebody's got to do it. And this might be the time. Zolto's coming in, shouting out the probe. On the left, we've got Would Tap That. Pet Wolverine on the Chromie, Mongoose on the Anubrak, Shadonis on the Oriole, Thames there on the Probius, and Colonel Pants on the Urel. And over here on the right, it's going to be Vilefin Mrgles. We've got Jake TG playing the Johanna, Mr. Sad Panda on the Gul'dan, Smoke on the Sylvanas, Lucio going to be played by Stony, and Rexar going to be played by Tomjin. And we're playing a little bit of back and forth here. We don't know which way we're going to go. Let's see what chat was about. To the Honorable Tomjin, to me, the solo lane is like those chivalrous knights of old. I request one thing. Shall one of us die in the 1v1? One taunt be allowed by the victorious laner. Do you accept? And who knows? Let's go ahead and put that out. Putting the chat away. And definitely Johanna the sturdier of the two tanks. So it's going to be on Mongoose to really showcase his survivability in this, because Anubrak took a hit to his survivability when they reduced the shield build a little bit. Also, his Cocoon's a little bit less value, but it's still Cocoon. That said, Lucio can burn through the Cocoon pretty quickly, as can Sylvanas and Gul'dan. So, I mean, the Cocoon can go down quickly, but it's not going to matter if they get a nice burrow charge in, Smoke having to use that Haunting Wave to get out. But is low enough that now, the next time that cooldown comes up, Sylvanas could find herself sitting in the graveyard. Nice impale there from the Anubrak to hold on to Johanna for long enough for that Warp Rift to get the hit. Already 10 stacks here for Probius on this Warp Resonance out of 20. That's a big boost already in damage. What is that, 100 right now? Yeah, so a big boost of 100 additional damage. What's the final of that? Oh, 1 additional charge. So, yeah, okay. Did I missed the vote. I'll have to take a look at that in a second. The charge going to be picked up here to start with by Would Tap That. Colonel Pants holding on to the charge up in the top lane versus the Misha. And down on the bot, we've got Would Tap That making their way onto the wall here. They've got Beetles, they've got a minion wave. But the camp picked up here by the Vilefin Mrgles. So they'll have that in the bot lane to help a little bit with the pressure. Rexar did get the point back here from Urel, so Misha's going to hold on to that for a moment. At the very least. Down here in the bot, though, we got Sylvanas and Anubrak falling a bit low. Anubrak having to pull back as pretty well out of mana. And how long can Urel hold this against Misha? Apparently it's pretty much forever. She can knock Misha off that point. Rexar in an awkward place, though. Tomjin has to be careful there, because if Urel dives in on the Rexar, he doesn't have nearly the health of a normal tank. And again, there, Lucio popping that Amp It Up, but taking a lot of damage from that Chromie, getting the double auto attack and the burrow charge from Mongoose. Gonna get the first blood of the game here for Would Tap That. Echoed Corruption at 18 stacks. Party Mix at 314 out of 480, so a little bit still left to go, but not too much. All right, Zergwave gonna be going over to Would Tap That. We do have Sylvanas, we do have Gul'dan, so a lot of the Zergwave should be able to be taken out pretty quickly with those two heroes. Now, does this affect the Zergwave? I think it does. Mercs. Never mind, just Mercs. Johanna, trying to make it out, has to walk through the Zergwave. Somehow makes it out of that alive. I don't fully understand what just happened there, but she gets it. And Lucio zooming around on that healing well, at least for the few moments that it was still alive. And now Anubrak was in danger, but not enough out of the team to be able to take down the bug. He didn't have enough health or mana to burrow charge out, so they could have potentially gotten that kill. But they lose the fort in the bot lane as Rexar versus Urel doing what they do. soaking the XP, playing single player mode for a little while. We'll see which team ultimately sends up their representatives for a solo lane gank attempt. Right now, it looks like it might be Would Tap That. Or they will just send all of their heroes up here because they picked up the camp and banish Mrgles to the bot lane. 30 stacks for Chromie, 19 stacks for Probius. And Lucio just about to finish that party mix, giving him the extra radius. And there it is. But Warp Resonance now completed, so that's going to give Probius an additional Warp Rift on top of the 100 additional damage he was already doing. And look at how much damage that did to Johanna. That was basically one setup attack. Gonna pull him in. There's the Warp Rift. But we still have this Merc Queen, so they're gone, but 60% additional damage onto the camps. And Would Tap That has about a third of a level lead right now on the Mrgles. So Mrgles are staying pretty close on this. And the real question is, once they get level 10s, can they convert their heroics into kills? And it's going to be difficult if Sylvanas gets caught here, but she is just okay. She's fine. Mongoose taking a lot of damage, is going to get taken out. Johanna finishing that kill as Chromie finishing her level 1 quest, getting the extra clone, and Mrgles with the instant mount on that Divine Steed at level 7, able to burst out away from the Rexar. And that's going to be a feels bad thing anytime Rexar's like, I got this kill, I can kill this Mrgles, and then she's just like, nope, see ya. And with that kill, by the way, the Mrgles are very close in this XP. In fact, they just took a lead thanks to this camp. So they may very well get level 10s first. However, very split on this engage as Nubrak diving in. And there's a big slow here. Mr. Sad Panda is just fine. Just fine. Just low health. The Mrgles trying to get back here to tap. Mrgles holding on to this point. Rexar trying to do everything that he can to get her off, but just simply isn't able to do that. And this is this is a great area for Gul'dan to get damage out there, but it's also a great area for Chromie and Probius. And the Gul'dan isn't quite able to get the range onto the enemy team. But level teams here now for both teams. We've already seen here Misha taking the Bestial Wrath and using it there. Oh no. Okay, well the kill onto Oriole, she does not have res? She does have res, just hasn't, there, here it comes. They got the kill onto the Sylvanas. Now they're looking for the Gul'dan. Is going to get impaled, so that's going to be the second kill. And again, Oriole with the res, so this is still now an uneven fight. Even with that kill, she's back. This is a full squad. Now a pretty... Oh no, Impale coming out onto Johanna, but Lucio making use of that speed boost. Gonna get Johanna out. But we've got a full Zerg wave coming in behind Would Tap That as this top fort is looking to go down. There's still a pretty decent Zerg wave in the bottom though, and as you can see here, Colonel Pants getting a lot of damage from the Banelings. 200 health, just barely able to make it out there as any closer there, and that would have been a dead Mrgles. Well, looking for the engage here. We see the Blessed Shield going out, keeping the Lucio alive. Some big damage coming out from Probius and Chromie there, but not enough to get the kill onto Lucio. He just kind of zips out of there, making use of that wall ride. But now the Zerg wave's gone. Gul'dan and Sylvanas able to clear that up pretty quickly, as mentioned earlier. And Mrgles has a lot of this done. But the Mrgles do get that bottom fort down, and that's very significant for them. They're also going to get a lot of damage up here in the top. Not sure just how much, but Johanna gonna be able to slow out these rotations. And as long as she's a little bit careful here, because she's behind enemy lines and completely isolated from her team. There's the cocoon onto Rexar, so Misha's not gonna be able to do a whole lot here. There's the slow, looking for that smoke, getting the kill onto Sylvanas. And Tomjam, oh, never mind. I was gonna say Tomjam might be able to make it out if they can get that speed boost, but not quite, as the Anub'arak gonna dive in, get that kill, and we're gonna see Wood Tap that make their way onto the siege camp, getting that armor penetration. After picking this up, they may very well go for the boss, because that's pressure that they can kind of just leave on the map. Horrify's down as well, but they're gonna come in and get their bruiser camp first. And there's the check. Yep, they're making sure that they're not on the boss. So good call. Good call on both teams, really. I think Wood Tap that had enough zoning, like with the warp rifts and the slowing sands, that they probably could have been fine. But still, I mean, now they've got the additional map pressure going in the top lane. They've got map pressure in the bot lane, and they're gonna be able to pick up this bruiser camp, maybe. Or is this a fight? This is looking more like a fight. Gul'dan uses that corruption, so he doesn't have that available now. We also do have the Hunter-Gatherer here for Rexar, so eventually he will get that 15 armor. But at least for now, we're just seeing a little bit of a bush stand. And they're coming in. The team is split. Johanna's behind. Gul'dan, Lucio, Sylvanas all in danger, as the Wailing Arrow is going to come out. Smoke's going to use that Haunting Wave, try to avoid the stun, but going to get caught by the Impale. Lucio put into the cocoon, and nobody dies. But the beacons are online, and the rotation from Wood Tap that's going to make it there first. Rexar, having a very low health Misha, has to pull back. And the channel beginning here for Wood Tap that. Another bush gank. And check it out. 3 of these. How much damage do these do? Let's check this out. How much does Probius do on this? 5. Warp Rift. So normally at this point is doing 517 damage. That goes up by 100. So that's almost that's a full squishy health bar with one attack, because he also gets his projectile. That's like 2,000, 2,100 probably. And that's not including any other talents, by the way, because he does have these other talents that affect his Warp Rift. So Johanna's going to get the stall, but Anub'arak getting onto the Rexar has that Impale, gets him pulled out, as Lucio coming in, trying to keep the team nice and healthy. And once again, Johanna's all by herself into this. Does get the Blessed Shield. Here comes the Horrify. Can they get the kill out there? They do onto Yrel. Have to be really careful about those Warp Rifts, though. Jake TG gonna get just deleted. Oh my goodness. So much damage between those Warp Rifts, and then Chromie just saying, I got some... Chromie saying, pound sand. Look at that. Look at that. 80% of Rexar's health in one attack, basically. Yes, it required setup, but it's so much potential damage. Oh, Misha took most of that as well, and so Chromie finishing the job. Still, both tanks down, as we see the Worker Rush used to get Probius all the way down to the bottom part of the map. 24% for Vilefin, 38% for Wood Tap that. And now with the camps coming back up, Vilefin's got to find that fight. We talked about this last game at the level 20. Did we? Maybe that was the other game. That was the other game. Never mind. Yrel in a good position to dive into the back lane. Goes right in, knocks back the Sylvanas. The slow coming out isn't on any heroes specifically, but Anub'arak's going to get that Impale, and Lucio's going to go down. Rexar doesn't have a Misha. Coming out of that cocoon entirely solo. Also doesn't have Feigned Death, so Rexar's going to go down once again, and now do we go boss? There's the boss. Yrel's going to head up, gather the top point, and then she'll just hop over this wall. She'll come right in. Gul'dan does have the Horrify, but 16 to 15, this... If Gul'dan goes in for this, this is a really bad idea. Johanna potentially could have used Iron Skin and made it onto there, and Gul'dan maybe could have made the Horrify, so they maybe could have gotten the boss. But I think they both would have died for it. So I think overall that was the best thing they could have hoped for. Now the boss is going in the top lane, which is opposite of where their Zerg's coming from. So top lane has 1 tower down, bottom lane has 2 towers down. All right, official, right here, look. Okay, 1 tower down. The boss does not specifically go into the lane like BOE. It doesn't go into the strongest lane. I don't know exactly how it chooses it, but it's not based on the strongest lane. I agree, Al. Thank you for your feedback. But the biggest problem here is that now we've got a big push in top with this boss. We're going to have a big push in the bottom with the Zerg wave. We may very well see both keeps falling here. Hey. Sure. Chromie and Probius going to start heading down at least. And by start, I mean just Probius. Getting set up, has the pylons to provide him some mana. But top keep is going to be saved as Nubrak diving in, looking for the Johanna. She's gonna, Yrel gonna get the Lucio. Where the heck was that? I have no idea where that was. The knockback coming from Colonel Pants gonna hit onto the Johanna. Misha's gonna be taken out here. The big damage coming out onto Yrel, but she's got Ardent Defender, so that's just gonna be a nice few seconds of you can't kill me. Oh, big knockback, taking the Rexar out. But there goes the Yrel. But guess what? Here she comes. She's right back into this. Johanna, no health, going in, looking for something. But this Zerg wave melting the core. And that's going to be game number 2 on Braxis holdout, going over to wood tap that. It's not like BOE. BOE goes to the strongest lane. And as we just saw, the boss on Braxis did not go to the strongest lane. It quite clearly went to the weakest lane. Smoke saying good games to Probius, exactly. Alright, let's see if we can get somebody in here from Wood Tap That. Alright, let's see. They said 1 sec, so I assume... Oh!
Hello!
Hello there! So we've got Shadonis. Am I saying that right, by the way?
Yes.
Alright, excellent. I mean, I'm okay with saying Thames the way that I say it. but, you know, I try, generally speaking, to say people's names the way they want them to be said. So congratulations on your victory there, a 2-0. Looking really strong. There were some moments there. Vilefin had some really great plays, but in the end, you guys get a 2-0 victory there. And so I got a couple questions for you.
Go for it.
So my first question is, how much pain is Mongoose going through knowing that he's always having to play on Braxis? Because I think this is like the second or third time I've seen you guys play on Braxis, and I know how much he loves this map.
He's never vocally complained about it, but there's always kind of that tiny thing that he doesn't... Yeah, you can tell that he doesn't enjoy the map.
Just out of curiosity, does he, like, is he quieter on the map? Like, does he not talk as much? Or is there any difference in his behavior when he's on Braxis?
He's very quiet leading up to the draft whenever I say we're going to Braxis. That's the only difference.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. So I did have the opportunity to catch you guys at the beginning of the games, showcasing your high-level taunts on specifically Chromie and Probius. Those were both 100+, and of course, I think Johanna for Mongoose was the 75 plus one. Those very, wonderful level 75 plus taunts with the big ring around them and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it's quite clear you guys are very comfortable on these heroes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Probius for you guys is what, like a 7-0 win rate now? Is that correct? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't think we've lost a single... I actually know for a fact that we haven't lost a single match with him, and 7 does sound right.
And have you guys played as much with the Chromie? And is it always like if Probius makes it through and you get the Probius, do you always pick the Chromie with that? This is just my own curiosity.
We try to, just because of the fact that the Slowing Sands set up Probe just ridiculously too much.
Yeah, I kind of talked about that a little bit in the first draft, or in the first game too, so that's not a big surprise. There's so much value there, so many different slows that you had from that team comp with the, and then you add on to it with the Johanna, the Leoric, and Pleb Anduin, who can only occasionally do a root, right?
Yep.
So really fantastic play on the mosh pit interrupts as well. You guys had limited ability to interrupt moshes in that first game, just the Johanna and Anduin. But it seemed like every time they wanted to get a mosh, either they died because it was just a little too far forward and the team wasn't there with them, or you or Mongoose really were able to lock that down. So the question comes in that is that, were you guys communicating the likelihood of those mosh pits coming in? Were you aware, or was it just, hey, there's the mosh, I'm gonna react? Like, how did that play out for you guys?
A lot of it was we just kind of targeted whoever was available, but there were some times where we could kind of see that it looked like he was trying to set up for a mosh, and having the double unstoppable on the front line, as I'm sure you saw the March helping Leo get out of the mosh, really made it so that he only could target the back line with it, and we have a lot of ability to spread that back line, so a lot of it was just kind of forcing him into an awkward position where we could see what he was going to do before he did it.
Makes sense, and then that makes it a little bit easier with the limited amount of interrupts that you have to succeed in that, the interrupt then. Yeah, absolutely. Good deal. All right, and then let's see. So you get to game number 2, you've got Braxis. We see the return of the Anubarak Probius combo, which was all the way back at the beginning of the season, the first combo that you guys had work with that, and that took place here as well. And I seem to recall in that combo, or in that interview, that it went something along the lines of, oh, so is this a thing that you guys have practiced? And you said, no, we just kind of had to go with something. So now that it's come out, like, how's that feel for you guys now?
It's something that after we saw how well it worked, we just kind of accepted the fact that that's always a fallback opportunity. So it's always nice to have that extra net, especially with the tank meta being as disgusting as it is right now.
Yeah. So with the win tonight, and I think this happened the last time as well. So you guys with this victory, it's going to put you at 19 points, which will put you at the top of the division again. Like, you guys keep bouncing around. This division, I think last time you went from 7th to 1st. Now you're going from 4th. Well, on the standing it says 4, technically tied for 3. But now you're going to go back into 1st place. So, what do you guys have left? How strong are the opponents that you guys have left to face? Or do you know? Like, have you even looked that far ahead?
We're really only really scared about Clouded Mines, which is the only Flex Max match we have left. Then we have, I don't remember if it's, no, it's Team Rainbow Strike Go, which I'm looking forward to. I've seen a few of their matches. They're definitely a fun team to both observe, and it seems like they're a fun team to play against. But Clouded Mines is the big thing we're trying to prepare for.
Sure. Clouded Mines, Venus's team, very strong team. I got to meet a lot of them at BlizzCon. They're really fantastic people. In fact, maybe even all of them at BlizzCon now that I think about it. But really nice people. Going to be a strong team to play against. They had a strong start to the season. And just a little bit behind where you were currently in the standings. And I think they have a couple flex matches to go as well. So that should be a very entertaining match to watch. So good luck with that. Before we do shoutouts, any particular moment tonight that was a highlight or a cinematic moment that really stuck out to you, whether it was something you did or your team did or the opponents did?
I don't remember exactly how it was led up to, but there was a fight over the bottom control point in Braxis, and we were setting up for the fight. We weren't even like fully ready to engage, and all of a sudden the probe just blew up like 2 people. I don't think it killed either of them, but literally all of us were just like, oh my word, where did this damage come from?
Yeah, there was a point there, it was about level, I don't know, 13 or 14 or so, I think, where I had to check and look, how much damage does that Warp Rift do? And at the time it was like 571. He'd completed the quest, so essentially we're just, rounded off to 1800, but also you had the bonus 100, so now we're talking 2100 almost, and whatever other talents he had going. So 2100 for the 3 points is insane burst damage. Nobody does that burst damage, period. Yeah. Other than, but you have to set it up, right? It's not instantaneous. Yep. They have to walk into it. So, and again, I didn't look at all the other talents to know how much other stuff might go into that, other potential bonus damages or armor reductions or things like that. So seeing those heroes, I mean, 2100 damage onto a Sylvanas or a Lucio or a Gul'dan or even Rexar, the main body, is 2/3 or more of their hit points at that point.
Yeah, it's definitely enough to make anyone afraid of anything that looks like a Warp Rift.
Well, but let's be clear, you almost never see the Warp Rifts.
Fair. Very fair.
You don't know that they're there. Although, I will say this. There was one, I don't remember where it was. I think it was the... I think it was the bottom turn-in point for Tomb of the Spider Queen, where there were a couple of Warp Rifts set up in the bush, and because it was Johanna. So anyways, there was a couple of Warp Rifts in the bush. Johanna started walking toward them. Thames sent out the shot, and Johanna was like, maybe that's not the best place for me to go. Turns around and avoids the damage, like, probably not on purpose, I would guess.
Yeah.
Would you be quiet, please? Hey, relax. Probably not on purpose, but it was just when you see it, it's the moment is just so perfect, and you're just like, oh, that was almost a dead Johanna.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says. Level 7, hitting a hero with a rift increases their damage from Probius for the next 10 seconds. Yikes. Mm-hmm. By 20%. That's huge. So there you go. All right, well, anything else you'd like to mention, and then shoutouts?
Well, shout out to the friends and family of my teammates, as well as we actually have a very tiny but still a fan base, so shout out to them. Shout out to you for your wonderful cast, and shout out to the enemy team for a fantastic game.
All right, good deal. Well, Shadonis, thanks so much for joining me here tonight. I appreciate it, and don't forget to report your match. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do for the rest of the season.
Same here. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thanks.
You too.
All right, everybody, that is going to wrap us up. That's 1, 2, 3 casts that we knocked out tonight. We saw the Phoenix Rising Ruby versus Demonic Entity Within. That was a 2-0 victory in favor of Phoenix Rising Ruby. That was a B East game. Then we saw the Waiting on Cherry versus Randy Newman as a replay cast. That was in favor there of Waiting on Cherry. And then finally, Would Tap That versus Vilefin Mrgles. As you can see there, the 2-0 victory. Clearly, it's a nice night to be on the blue side. All 3 teams on the blue side went 2-0 tonight. So, Does that mean that blue side is better? I don't know. Statistically speaking, from one sample set of tonight alone, it would seem so. But thanks everybody for joining me tonight. Have a wonderful evening, I'll take a look and see who can we raid. Maybe there's some additional NGS action, or if not, maybe some Heroes Lounge Division S partnered with NGS action going on that we'll send you over to. So, see you later this weekend.